Okay, welcome back. We're in our third session. A quick recap. We learned how to finger G, the C chord, and the D chord. We learned to keep our guitar up straight so that our fingers hit it straight on rather than sideways, giving us a lot of buzz and dampening effect. We learned how to finger the frets, keeping our fingers closest just behind the frets for the cleanest unbuzzed sound. We learned when we tune to take it below flat and bring it up to pitch, and then that way, rather than coming down, our strings aren't hung up, and the first time we play a note they just snap out of tune. We've learned to start tuning with our thickest, biggest, heaviest strings where the most tension is, because those are the ones that literally bend our neck and put our thin strings out of tune. So we do them first, then tune up the thin strings. By now, your calluses should be just burning. You guys are probably screaming in pain. The women seem to be the toughest when it comes to this callousing part, I've noticed. And it brings us to our first golden rule. Now this is my high budget, high tech golden rule sign. And what I mean by the golden rules is these are things that really have to be done in order for the criteria that I'm teaching you to take effect, for you to get over that hump and be playing around the campfire in 4 to 6 weeks. And the first golden rule is you've got to practice. You have to practice in the morning, you've got to practice midday if you can, and in the evening. Try to finish your practices up on a positive note. And do it often. If you're sitting around the TV, like I said, just hold your chord if you have to, and your muscles will train themselves to go into place. And so what we're going to do is start the 4/4, 4/4, what I call cowboy or country strum pattern. So we'll do that when we come back. So we're going to teach the strum pattern this 4/4 time. 4/4 country cowboy strum pattern by using the G chord. So there's our G chord. We know how to play the G chord. We're using all 6 strings. Your movement with this is going to be a down up movement. But your down movement, you're going to probably pivot your wrist on the bridge. Your down pick is going to be picking the 6th string. Remember, you're fingering the G chord. You're picking the 6th string on the down, then you come up about 4 or 5 strings. I say 4 or 5, it doesn't matter. You strum down 4 or 5 and strum up 4 or 5. That's the entire strum. Let me repeat this. You're in the G chord, you're fingering it, you down pick the 6th string, you up, strum 4 or 5 strings, strum down 4 or 5, strum up 4 or 5. So let's say one more time. Down pick, up strum, down strum, up strum. So here it is mechanically. 1, 2, 3, 4. there's several ways that you can do this. You can use your pinky to help guide your depth. You can pivot a bit off of the bridge, or do both. What I'm trying for you not to do is to float in mid-air without having a pivotal point. In mid-air, it's just about impossible to do. So I'm either pivoting off the corner of my guitar or on my bridge, or using my pinky, or a combination of all three, that whichever way you find the most comfortable for yourself. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that's the mechanical way of doing it. There's a word that's called syncopation, and it has to do with slightly variances in the different timings. So let me demonstrate, and it'll be self-explanatory. I'm going to down pick, come up. When I go on my down strum, I'm just going to emphasize it a bit. I'm going to go overboard with it here to show you though. And then up. So let's do this. 1, 2, and on my third, 3 and 4. So now we have. Strum has a bit of a drive, almost like a train or something, rather than our initial mechanical strum where we went. It would just monotone. Now we have. You should be getting a whole bunch of buzzes and all sorts of sounds. It's because you're still working on finding the right positioning of your fingers and the right strum. So that's just normal and natural. But now I do want to call in my second and very important golden rule again. There we go, high budget golden rule. This rule is very important. Even though you're going to get mixed up at first with this strum, this is a fairly difficult strum to do. You're going to get mixed up and you're not always going to hit that 6th string. But the golden rule is never stop this right hand. Fix it on the fly, never stop this. And there's a million reasons why. I'm going to touch base on it later. But in short, I don't want you to start the bad habit of ingraining. Every time you make a mistake, stopping. You'll do it for years on end. No one will play with you because you'll be stopping. They'll never be able to play a song with you. It will do you no favors. You won't be able to fix on the fly. Keep this at all costs. Keep this hand going. If you pick out the 5th string, who cares? If you pick out the fourth, who cares? Let's do that. It doesn't even sound that bad. There's the fourth string. Fifth, sixth. It doesn't matter. Just keep it going. That's the most very important part. Golden rule. Let's recap. I'm plucking the sixth string, which is actually the root note of G. So every time I go pick, up, down, up, that is one strum pattern. If I had 4 strum patterns, I could write them like this. G, 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 G. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that'll be the start of us learning how to write chord charts in our next session. For now, we're going to play G. Now let's go to the C chord. So with G, we use the 6th string. With C, we're going to use the 5th string for our bass note. Now, other than that, nothing's changed. You hit the bass note on the down, the 5th string, up, down, up. If you miss the 5th string, don't matter, keep going. You'll probably hit the 6th string a lot. Okay? We were going to write 4 C patterns in our chord chart. We'd write C, 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 or we would write C slash slash slash. Each slash meaning that it's just a C. So we would go 4 strum patterns. C, 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 C. Now let's go to D. Now with D we were using 4 strings. Our bass note with D is our 4th string. And we're just going to try to hit the 4th string, come up, 3 or 4 strings down, 3 or 4 and up. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to our G chord and let's recap. We're pivoting a bit from the edge of our guitar by our elbow. Sometimes we're using this bridge a little bit with our wrist. We're using our pinky to help guide us a little bit for depth. And here's the 4/4 strum in G. Website, there will be some practice MP3s there for this lesson. The next lesson, we're going to go and write chord charts, learn how to follow them, using G, C, and D.